It is free to join my community. The stocks I
One,
choose
two,
are
one,
also
two,
free.
one, two,
The
one,
techniques
two,
and
one, two.
strategies
We in the
used are
place to
also
be.
free.
We're gonna go ahead and get it started. Welcome to Pontiac WYAC. One, two, one, two, one, two. What's up, everybody? How you guys doing? This is Sante in the place to be. Welcome to Pontiac WYAC, and I'm back. And tonight we're going to be talking about a couple of things. It's on you guys, you know what I mean? It is on you tonight. I wanted to come last night, but I didn't come last night. So I'm on tonight, and we're going to talk about things concerning Pontiac, Michigan, you know what I mean? What's in the news right now? Everybody's talking about it. What's going on? Everybody is talking about what's going on with the violence. And what can I say about that? We all know about the violence. Let me go ahead and hit the share button. If anybody want to chime in, you can do so. So I want to give people just a moment to be able to come in if they would like to. And while people are coming on in, I will just let the music play a little bit. So tonight on Pontiac WYAC, welcome everybody. I know I'm coming in sporadic and erratic, but tonight we're gonna talk about a couple of things. I don't want to dwell and harp on what's the negative. Don't want to dwell and harp on what's right in front of everybody's faces. But we got to address, and talk about the elephant in the room. It's quite ironic. The shooting that was yesterday. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and put some housekeeping real quickly, and then we're gonna go ahead and start this thing like we're supposed to. I want to make sure that we got coverage and we live and we doing it right. But we're gonna discuss the shooting that happened the other night on the south side. We're gonna talk about that. Because I'm gonna be quite well. Let me go ahead and do this, and then we're gonna talk about the shooting that happened. I'm gonna open up the phone lines. If anybody want to call, they can call. If anybody want to talk about it, we can talk. But let me go ahead and do some housekeeping real quickly. I'm gonna put up the phone number, and we're gonna get to it this evening for an hour or so, and let it be known. We're gonna talk about the shooting. I'm gonna let it be known just right up off top. We're gonna talk about the shooting and the violence. Okay, we're gonna talk about that tonight. So, and it's quite ironic. Let me just shut up. And let me go ahead and do this post, what I got to do, and then we start talking about it. Let me edit something real quick here. All right, cool. I'm going to go ahead to share button. I just had to go ahead. I just had to go ahead and share share a couple of things real quickly. But tonight, you guys, hey, Miss Carter, I gave you a call. I check your voicemail. I know that you're super, super, super busy. But I did reach out to you, and I would love to speak to you about when we got a chance to talk briefly at Juneteenth and all the wonderful and the great things that you're doing. I would like to say thank you. So what's up to Batiste Sr.? What's going on? If you can, please share. I appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and get ready to open up the phone lines. Let's see here. I'm going to text back somebody that's super important. And I'm going to open up the phone lines, and I'm going to, if anybody wants to call, I'll make sure I got to make sure we good. So as we get this together, we're doing this on the fly right now. Go ahead and connect the Bluetooth, and let's get the phone lines open. Boom, boom, boom. Let me see here. Open up the phone lines. And tonight, you guys, we're gonna talk about the violence. We're gonna talk about the shooting and things. It's not the first, okay? And it's unfortunately it won't be the last. You know what I mean? Things like this happen, and let me go ahead and make sure that this phone is the one that's connected with the phone, the incoming calls. And now we're good, you guys. So I'm going to open up the phone lines right now. But, unfortunately, things like this continuously to happen, not only in Pontiac, not only here in Pontiac, but the whole metro area, all over the world. And, unfortunately, our young men are the ones that, unfortunately, our young men are the ones that fall victim to these things and this violence that we continuously encounter. And, I don't really know. You want to be optimistic, and then you say, like I seen a couple of things today where, somebody had brought up a good point. I seen where Gil Garrett had did a live stream, and somebody had made a good point, because I heard earlier where they were somebody mentioned about rec centers and things for kids to do, but then somebody put in the comments, which was a good comment. It was a real comment, and the comment said, is the rec centers or a rec center is going to be a place, is it just going to be a place where people can congregate and create more violence? So just because we have rec centers or opportunities or outlets for kids, which will help, always will help. But with those situations like, rec centers or stuff like that, or, would those centers be a hub for violence? And and how I'm looking at the whole thing is we got to look at the root. Of course, kids do need opportunities and situations to be able to, go ahead and release anger, stress, physical activity, and all those types of things. But it comes down to the parenting. And now I'm aging myself now, because when you look at, we say when I was growing up, but yeah, we had 4 or 5 rec centers spread it out throughout the city of Pontiac, and things like that. But we had active, even if we had parents that weren't in that quote unquote grade or did they little things on the side or smoked their joints or whatever they did, we had some type of family structure. And we didn't see the violence that we do now. And that's just not Pontiac. That's Chicago, Detroit, Philadelphia, Los Angeles, Chicago, Miami. That's everywhere right now. And it's coming down to the parenting, the lack of parenting and guardianship. I seen a thing where in Indianapolis, something was going on where they had over the 4th of July weekend, where just a whole bunch of youngsters went and just had a little violent spree in Indianapolis. And when people started to talk about it, and some people from the city of Indianapolis was like, we're going to continue to throw money, or not throw money, we're going to continue to have programming, we're going to continue, hey, what's going on, brother man? We're going to continue to, and a place like the Rising Stars, I got to put a shout out to that. Rising Stars gives an opportunity for young athletes, male athletes, football, you know what I mean, in particular, but mentorship. But that's like the to me, when I look at the Rising Stars camp, it's a mentorship component. Everybody ain't going to make it to the NFL. It's not about that. It's about giving guidance. And Reginald Wins and his crew, they actually really care for the kids and giving an outlet for the kids. But what I also like about the Rising Stars, and this isn't coinciding with the violence that's going on, they are in partnership with the parents, and helping the parents become quote unquote better parents, even if that's not even in the agenda that there's in their outline. But I've seen them work with parents, even when parents didn't have finances to actually pay for the sessions that they needed. Rising Stars help. I know they do. I've seen it. And things like that. Hey, good morning or good evening, Latanya. So when it comes down to the violence in our neighborhoods, I really think it ultimately comes down to the parenting. You can have all of these different resources. You can have Boys and Girls Club. You can have this and you can have that. You can have this and you can have that. But if you do not have the core, the reason why I didn't get into a lot of trouble or get into any trouble at all is because I know I have 4 or 5 whoopings waiting on me. Before my father even got to me, I was running my uncle, my grandmother, maybe my friend's mama or something like that, and then my daddy gonna get to me. Like I had 3 or 4 people before the main whooping was gonna get to me. I had people. So I think that's what's lacking, and I think that's lacking everywhere. Just not Pontiac. I just think that's everywhere at this point. And so I've seen some politicians and I've seen some people that's running for offices today. I did see that where some things were said about, that's why we need, outlets and recreation for the kids. Yes, that's an absolute. And I agree with you. And I want that more. I want that more than ever for children to have. But I think ultimately for the community to be better and safer and more whole is going to be parenting. That's what it all comes down to. Because after these kids go to the, after the kids go to these, the Boys and Girls Clubs or the new places that they go to, far as with a recreation club or a rec center, they still got to go home to somewhere. And when they go home, that's when they meeting, the problems that they facing. A lot of times. So, it's only the rec center and these outlets can only do so much when a child is going home or, a kid is going home to a broken home. Or the parents are doing just as worse as the kid itself. And we got a lot of strong kids really out here because we got a lot of strong kids that could be doing more than what they doing, but they choosing not to. They choosing to go to school. They choosing to stay out of trouble. But they're in a household that perpetuates violence and drugs and things like that. So there's a lot of kids that have really stayed strong. Even if they don't have anybody, pretty much too much. It will take a village to save these kids. It will. And in Rising Stars Recruiting is 100% right about that. It takes a village to save the kids. And that's what I really like about the Rising Stars Recruiting. It's not just athletics. It's really just not athletics. It's really not. He's helping kids, help them stay on track mentally. Like I said, it's like giving some form of accountability. It's giving some form of discipline. Work for what you want. Work for what you need in life. Routine, and that's what really a lot of kids or a lot of people. Not forget the kids. Think about it. A lot of adults these are skills that a lot of our adults don't even have. Routine. And when you don't have a routine or you don't have some sort of a disciplineship about you, you're going to be off track all the time. So these type of things that places like the Rising Stars Recruiting is developing. And you get a lot of those types of things or traits built in athletics. And I think athletics is just the tool that Rising Stars is using, which help kids for their future, but ultimately creating routines, creating discipline, creating teamwork, creating, as we all know, football is an aggression type of sport, but it's a control aggression. So being able to manage your aggression, you know what I mean? So when you have great mentorship like that in the community, these are the things that we should be championing because actually Rising Stars, Reginald Wins is homegrown, Pontiac native, Pontiac Northern graduate, record holder, went off to college, did some amazing things, brought his talents, and with his team has created the best, in my opinion, which maybe not my opinion, forget my opinion, which is fact, the best recruiting agency or helping these kids out in the state of Michigan and recognized nationally, and that's hard work. What he's doing is hard work. It's very hard work. And I've seen him started from the very beginning. I don't know the ins and outs, but I'm pretty sure a lot of sleepless nights, including up to now, because he's not just dealing with the basics of football and athletics. He's dealing with actual kids' problems. His staff and his people are dealing with kids and people's problems and trying to help them solve and help them get to the next level and helping one not, fall through the crack. And I'm pretty sure, I know for certain, he's plugged a lot of cracks. And I think, but there's only so much people like Reginald Wins can do. It's only so much people that these rec centers or so much people things that people that have nonprofit agencies can do. Ultimately, it's the parents. Ultimately, because that's who those kids are looking at. That's who those kids are putting. The kids are being put in crazy positions from. It's the parents. And I remember when I was growing up. Good evening. Hey, Monique. Hey. Gee, I want to talk to you. I got to talk to you about something. So, but ultimately, that's what it comes down is the parents. And I think my parents did a pretty good job. But I noticed when I was growing up, I said, okay, it's a couple of things I want to do different. We moved around a lot. When I was little, I moved around a lot. You know what I'm saying? Here, there. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of was on this side of town, and they did good. You know what I mean? Nothing against what my parents did. They did what they knew. They stayed together and made it work. But we all know as we grow up, we like, you know what, I'm going to do this a little bit different than moms and pops did or this and that. So I said to myself, I wanted to create a little bit more of a stability, like, you know, not moving around so much. And I think it helped. And because what I noticed with me moving from place to place to place to place, I never really became friends with people like that because I moved so much. I know a lot of people, but it was always hard for me to forge relationships with people because I moved around so much. It was like averaging every 3 to 3.5 years, I was kind of moving, boom, 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 boom. And I could see how that affected me in my adulthood, where I ain't gonna say it was hard for me to forge relationships, but you know what I mean? It just, so I know a lot of people, but it just, you know, so I said, you know what? When I get to my age and have children, I'm gonna try to be a little bit more set, you know what I mean, in one place for a while, you know what I mean? And I asked God for that, work towards that, and that's what I was able to do. And I noticed the effect on me actually as an adult helped. But not only just that, I think as for my children, I think that helped too, not to be moved so much around here and there. But so as what you do as an adult or as a parent does affect your kids offset in a type of way. But it ultimately, all this violent stuff, man, it come down to the kids. It come down to the parents. It come down to the parenting, you know, in cities like Pontiac and cities like Detroit, you know. So I think at the end of the day, we just got worse parents. It ain't even worse kids. You know what I'm saying? I can't even blame it on the kids. Pretty much. It's worse. We have bad parenting. So what we need to do? Have a rec center for the parents. Think I said something. I mean, what we got to do for real? It come down to the parents. It come down to the people that's my age and a little bit younger that got the kids that's in their 20s and their teens right now. If they see moms drunk, high, got dude, this dude, that dude over here, every other, how you expect Junior to kind of look at that? If you see pops, pops ain't got to be rich. My pops wasn't nowhere near that. Didn't make a lot of money or nothing like that, but I knew it was some type of, I can't do this. I can't do that. You know what I mean? I got somebody to answer to. If these young men had somebody to answer. There was a study, and I don't care who's gonna like it how I put it like this, but it was a study of animals, right? It was the study of elephants. And they did a study when they took the bulls, which was the adult elephants, the adult male elephants. When they took them out the herd, the male elephants ran rampant. They caused all types of mischief. Some of the male boy elephants were even raping the other elephants, doing all types of, violence and destroy. So they took that a male present has to be placed in there at a young, early age, though, and consistently there. Black Mamba, what's going on? Can't just say parenting anymore. It takes a village, a community, resources, empathy, compassion, patience, leadership, love. And I get all of that. It does, but it all lies back to the parents. The parents are supposed to provide all of that type of stuff. Why? Okay, I need to know, and I'm not trying to combat what you say. Yeah, it does take a village. It does take an overall. It does take an overall approach, a community approach. But the key component, you cannot have the village. You cannot have a lot of resources, and you cannot have a lot of other things surrounding you. But if you have that one component piece, which is the man and the woman or the parents who brought you into this world, and that's who you got, and it's a strong unit or a strong love to raise this and be a part of this person's life and bring them up, That's 80% of the whole thing right there. And you can be the perfect parent and raising and your child still do whatever, but the percentages is low. But if you take out the parenting aspect of that, and then you can give the kid the village, you can give them the community centers, you can give them all of this and that. A lot of times that won't even matter because they still is missing a lot. That's why I'm saying it come down to the parents, in my opinion. And it ain't just the opinion. That's the fact of the matter. So ultimately, I believe, you know what I mean? But when you have the parents not teaching them respect, authority, it's hard to. That's what I'm saying, Regina. That's what I'm saying, Gita. You don't have the parents teaching them respect and of authority or whatever the case may be, then you can have the village, but it's hard for the village to help them. And that's what I was kind of going back to with the Rising Stars, how these entities work in conjunction or like a Rising Stars with the parents and help the parents. Because a lot of those people that work with the Rising Stars are good parents. So in a way, it's almost kind of helping the parents be better parents while teaching their kids some athletic skills and getting them to the next level and intangible assets that they need as a growing adult. So it's like it's hard to have. I'm gonna open the phone line is open, you guys. 248-905-1128. So when it comes to cities like, it's just not Pontiac, you know what I mean? And it's so ironic. It's the funny thing is my daughter just started back the Detroit Pistons. They starting back they season far as the dancers and stuff like that. So she had a practice at United Wholesale Mortgage. And it was time to go get her. It was time to go get her from practice. And I was going to go down Gulf Drive, or I was going to go down the way, but I didn't. I wound up going a different way to go to the United Wholesale Mortgage Complex. But the way that I typically go is where the shooting was last night. But something told me don't go that way. On my way going there, I left out the house driving, and I saw the Oakland County Sheriff coming down the street. I pulled off to the side, and they went speeding past me. I didn't know where they was going. I didn't know. They were so happy going to this shooting. Let's see what to say. Black Mamba. The village don't even reflect the people. If the people are toxic, the village is toxic. How can an individual heal if they don't have access to support to what can heal them? I'm with you on that. But like I say, so when we was getting ready to, go get my daughter from practice or whatever yesterday, I didn't even know about the shooting until I got home. And that shooting was right there actually in the neighborhood that I primarily grew up. I spent the most time growing up. That's why I identify with the south side of Pontiac so much, because that's where the most of my stability growing up years were. And where I'm just a south side native. But that was right across the street from the M1 concourse complex. And just ironically, a month and a half ago, or roughly a month ago, that's where Delia Sharp Samuel had her Stomp Out the Violence march. And it was just so ironic. And I thought about it, I'm like, wow, we just marched here to stomp out the violence. And it was right there where the shooting really took place. And from what I understand, I really don't know the ages. I'm just allergic to bad news right now, y'all. You know what I mean? There's so much going on all together and all around. I'm trying not to let bad news seep into my head to affect my everyday thing on what I'm got going on. And I know bad news is bad news and it's everywhere, but I'm trying to seek out the best positive to keep my mind so I can go forward. You know what I mean? And things like this. I hate to see this type of thing to happen, but unfortunately, Unfortunately, I don't see an end to it. Not just here, but, just all around. Because I just think we are, I don't know. I don't know. The poison is deep. I don't think there is nothing that can be done. Oh, this just echoing what I said. The beauty. You know what? My doggone light be flashing sometime, and it never did this before. And I don't know if that's my mama or not. She didn't enter the room. I don't know, but y'all, my light be flashing just all of a sudden. This light don't supposed to do that. But I'm gonna read this. Nothing can be done. It's beauty from the ashes at this point. People aren't concerned about community until the community touches their lives. True, and often the wrong way. That's when you see marches and community. Yeah, I'm with you on that. It's all about discipline. Yes, Jeeta. If y'all can share, please. You're not. If you're active and unvaccinated. Right. Yeah. I'm for real. This light do not be. But So y'all, we gotta do something about this. All I'm gonna tell you is this: you got kids, you got grandkids. This is what you can do to play your part. And I'm liking this. I'm gonna tell you what you could do your part to curtail violence. This is the problem solver right here. You don't need community centers or nothing. I'm telling you what you do. Over this smooth track, I'm gonna tell you what you do right now. This is not 100% foolproof, but this is what you could do. Raise your kids. That's it. You got grandkids, be there for them. And you can do all of that and things still happen. But I'm gonna tell you the percentage points, they go down. They go down. You don't have to have all the money. I wasn't raised with a lot of money or none. I didn't get none of the new stuff. I got one maybe nice pair of kicks for the whole year or 2 years when the school year came. But I'm gonna tell you what I learned from my pops. What I learned from my pops from him being present. Regina just said something real important. I didn't go to, look, I went to the Holland Center every now and again. Didn't go to the Holland Center a lot. I'm glad it was present. I'm glad that it was available for me, but I didn't go to the Holland Center like that or the EWAC. I went every now and again. But you know what I had every day? I had my moms and my pops. I'm liking this. I'm liking this beat. I'm gonna put this on repeat. So this is what I had every day. I had my moms and pops every day. What I learned from my pops was this: get up in the morning, go to work. You may not make a lot, but if you want something, go to work for it. What I learned from my grandma, if you don't work, you'll steal. And if you don't steal and you don't work, you probably gonna kill. But those were like little jewels and key points that I saw in my life from the people that was there. Rec centers didn't teach me that. After school programs didn't teach me that. They gave me something extra to do. You know what I mean? But what I learned was those core lessons at the house. And my parents weren't perfect, or granny wasn't perfect, whoever the case may be. But the things that I saw with my uncle, my auntie, their relationship. Oh, I think we're going to have a phone call. Phone call number is 248-905-1128. 248-905-1128. Please call in. I think we're going to have a caller. 248-905-1128. But that's what I did have. And that's what a majority of the kids around me did have. I know some of my partners I grew up on the South Side, they ain't even have a lot. house was falling apart, but their mama and daddy was in the house. And even though the kids may waned a little bit, they kind of straightened up. So ultimately, like I say, it just comes down to the parenting. And I guess what the resource for the thought pattern would be, 2489, I'm about to put it up. 248-905-1128. 905-1128. And then on top of that, you know what? I was afraid to, I had so much respect for my parents, or not only just my parents or my grandma or my uncle. It wasn't even that I was afraid. I just had too much respect for them to mess up like that. You know, I didn't want to disappoint my uncle. You know, I didn't want to disappoint my grandma and them. I didn't want to do too much to embarrass them, to have them in shame. So we got a phone call coming in. 1 second here. Do. Okay, can you hear me on the phone call? Caller?
What up, though? Can you hear me?
I got you. What's going on? Introduce yourself to the people.
You got any feedback on this line? You good?
Oh yeah, I'm hanging in there, man. I know you was chiming in on the comments, but we got Reginald Wins, founder of Rising
What's
Stars.
up, man? Reggie Williams, man.
Yeah. Well,
I just had a couple things to say.
Go ahead.
Hold on a second, something. I'm getting feedback.
You getting feedback? You say?
I had to take off the.
Yeah, you got me on. You got me on speaker.
So,
you probably got to take me off speaker.
No, go ahead, phone. Go ahead, phone. So you guys are speaking about the village. It takes a village. It does.
Yeah.
We talk about parents, and can you hear me?
You need to come off speaker.
I'm speaking. Hold on.
You on speaker? I can tell.
I ain't no speaker. Anyways,
There
man.
you go. There you go.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
better?
way better.
All right.
Better.
So anyway, we're talking about village. It takes a village, and some parents are bad, but you can't control that. But see, we still have to have these community centers that we educate not just our kids but our parents. Okay, so now it may not work, but those who wants to get help, we have to attempt to save them all, but save who want to be saved. Now, when you get to the community centers and do all this stuff at the community centers and the ones that's creating other violence, you got to get them out of there. You got to get them out of there because, in fact, we're trying to save souls. So we have to continue being that village and continue trying to save this kid's soul. Because if we stop, we're losing everybody, man. So if we save 20 out of 2,000, that's good.
Yeah.
Next year it'll be 40. But we must continue building these programs, community, and parents, we got to educate them parents. If you're 25 or younger, you got to go to a class. If you're having babies at 25 younger, man, we give a mandatory class to teach them how to be parents because we don't know how to be parents, but we can share how we did or how our parents treat us. We got to continue informing our young people how to survive. They don't know. So if we stop trying, we stop building a team and communities, that's why it's going on. That's what's going on right now, killing people every day.
Well, let me ask you, somebody had made a comment a little bit earlier and they talked about, let me ask you this. Okay, they make, of course, community centers that really ain't well, in the city of Pontiac, it ain't none, right? So not yet. So, but somebody made a comment earlier that the way things are now, are we just going to make a community center for people to meet up and have violence there? Because you know what I'm saying? Like now at this point, that was a great question I asked myself when the person asked. I'm like, that's kind of, because things are running so rampant now and you get a community center, how are you going to curtail the violence that might come to the community center? and it's so
Well,
rampant at this point.
Well, it is, but more or less, it's the individual who run the community center. So JoJo coming here and he's acting a butt every day. He's not showing up in the time to get his education. JoJo will not be welcome back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we can't penalize our whole group of kids because we got 2 or 3 bad kids. They can't come. They can come if they're going to listen, but we're going to have to be stern. We still got to continue trying, man. The boys club in Pontiac, rest his soul, John Brown just died. John Brown managed that boys club, and he kicked guys out. They got in a fight. He put boxing gloves on. He was a mentor and the father to a lot of people. So we can, yeah, it's going to be violence, but hell, get rid of them. Move on. Next. You can't allow one person, 2 people to stop a doggone destiny or raising these kids. We can't stop. We can't do it, man. And it's rough. Do nothing, you should not get nothing.
What's your biggest challenge? Like because you got a massive program. You know, I'm like, I couldn't even imagine how many. You see a lot of kids. What is your biggest challenge, and how do you like overcome
my biggest challenge is my parents.
That's why.
And see, once you overcome the parents, the kids will listen. You have to be transparent. You gotta be fair. You can't be in life, man, being not fair. You know what I mean? You gotta be fair. These kids know when you're genuine and you love them. But my biggest challenge is parents and getting people to understand their parents that, hey, your son is not a first-round draft pick today. But let's teach your son to continue working through all these woes and trials and tribulations to become successful. If you don't make the NFL, great. But you just taught yourself how to deal with the pressures of life to take care of your family. Mm-hmm. We got to continue to educate everybody, the moms, the dads, as well as the kids, man, if they're willing to listen. If they're not willing to listen, you can't be in the program. It's just flat out. But my parents is difficult because they know more than you. I've been doing scouting for years. And they know more than I do and argue with me. You know, so what do? Yeah. Eventually you got to move on because the fact is one bad apple, man, spoils the whole bunch, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just unfortunate, man, because, I mean, stories like this a little bit too often. They come in more and more rampant. They seem like they're picking up not just in this area. It's all over the place, you know, and it's like, you know, programs like what you're doing is champion, you know, really helping kids and help them get to the next level. And even if it's just, you know, just a thought pattern, you're just becoming better people overall for themselves, for their family. More programs like yours need to be championed, which I believe that a lot of times it's just not put out on Front Street like it should be. But
no, it's not. But I do it for a different reason. I use football to save souls. So if I could save souls, it's fine. I kicked out a lot of guys on my program. Yes, absolutely. But I need to use football to save souls. 99.9% of them are not going to get drafted or go to pros. Mm-hmm. The ones who do, great. Yep. But we need to have some structure somewhere. If you don't have it at home, you got to have it at the programs. And I talk about John Brown and Boys Club. If people from the east side of Pontiac and they know John Brown, he used to tighten them young boys up, man. Mm-hmm. And we were afraid of John Brown, Jimmy King. We were afraid of them. Mm-hmm. So we just got to keep educating the families, man.
Okay, before you go, have you ever been reached out to, like, far as you from born bred from Pontiac. I know you deal with kids all over the place. It ain't just here. But have you been like reached out to personally? I don't know how much you can say about that, but have you been reached out personally from administrative or anything like that? I mean, because you should, far as the type of impact that you have been able to, I mean, even with some Pontiac students that have became even greater successes coming through your program, you know, to national prominence, more or less, you know. But have you been reached out to even for the like from the schools or anybody like, hey, can you help us develop, or can you X, Y, and Z? Have you?
No, I haven't got that call, but I get some conversation from the white schools who ask me to come to inform them about a lot of things. I don't get as much as I want from my community. I would like to get some more so we can save more. I'm from Pontiac.
Right.
I'm trying to do everything I possibly can to help my Pontiac babies. We do our first big camp next year, July 11th and 12th, and just to give back, working on giving cliques to the kids, man, working on giving kids some financial literacy courses, man, just trying to teach them something and then give them a chance. So I don't get that many calls, Sante, about help my kid, or I don't get that call from some other company or entity say, yeah, we need you to come and speak. I don't get that.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
I mean, a lot of people don't know, because a lot of people think my program is just football. No, it's not.
Right.
It's not. I'm saving your baby with football because he loves this game and helping him have a life at 30 and 40.
Yeah.
The good part about my stuff, I make about 25 to 3,000 kids in college and NFL. They come back.
Yeah.
So that's where we win at. We win getting these kids saved. They coming back. Thank you, Coach. I got my master's from Michigan, Howard, whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
And they come back, man, and say, hey, thank you. That's what it's all about.
Mm-hmm. And it's not just football, like you said. I mean, you even give young kids or younger kids, or I'm pretty sure if a young lady came up and say, hey, I like the video and stuff like that, he give people opportunities with those type of situations, because there is opportunities, I know personally, because, you know, he has used me before, excuse me, to be able to do maybe some video here and there, you know, so there's different opportunities outside of that he may be able to, you know, if there might be an interest in. But I mean, overall, I know Reggie Wins is in that program, definitely help kids, help parents too. And I mean, he's making a great impact. And the amount of kids is like, it's like a sea of kids. The couple times that I've been, I haven't been recently, but it's like a sea of kids. I mean, it's like they all love him. Like it's crazy. Like, wow, look at that old Reggie Wins. I like.
Well, I mean,
but yeah,
you got to show love, man.
Yeah,
I mean, I employ my guys. I bring my guys back. I just help a guy I got about 9 or 10 college kids that came through my program now as college coaches. So, I mean, we just got to keep, you know, building this village and family, man. And we got to get everybody to think, because if we start thinking like the villages don't do no damn good, it's toxic. Oh, I hear you.
Yeah.
But if you don't try and continue trying, guess what? You're saving nobody. At least you could have saved 20.
You're right. You're absolutely right. You know, it just sometimes it gets so discouraging, and because you see the rotation, like, dang, things just seem like it's getting worse. It's getting worse. But that's why I said that, you know, that's why I said when I came down and I just was talking, like, it ultimately do come down to the parents. It doesn't matter. Like, yeah, you can have all the programs. Yeah, you can build the programs. And the reason I'm saying that is because I was watching something, like I said, over the weekend in Indianapolis. And one of the officials there said, you know what, we're going to continue to build programs and have outreach and do this and that. But it comes down to, we can do all of that if we want to, and throw money at a problem and have programs and mentorship. But if you don't have the home intact, then more cases than not, you're going to continue to have these problems continuing. And like you said, it's the parent. Well, like you said, your main problem is usually the parent. Mm-hmm. Not blaming everything, but that's what it come down to, man.
No doubt.
That's what it comes down
that's
to.
what it is.
Yeah.
But I mean, we just got to keep plugging, man. Yeah. And there's just a word to the families out there, man. Just don't stop trying. Don't give up on your kids. I know it's tough. Can't give up on your kids. Don't let society raise your child. Keep working. They're gonna have problems. They're gonna fail. They don't know what to do. You got to encourage and coach your child to be great, and can't stop loving them, man. No matter what, if they fail and they fall, you pick them up and keep encouraging them to walk on.
Right.
But we don't do that no more, man. We just criticize our kids now, call them stupid ass, whatever the case may be, man. But you can't do it, man. You gotta try to figure. And this time of days, it's different. It's different, man.
Yeah.
They don't know no better.
No.
They raise themselves.
Yeah. But you said ultimately, man, because you know what? Some parents may not know how to do X, Y, and Z, but if you know how to love them, that's enough. Love go a long way. You may not know how to teach them this and teach them that, but if you love them, man, like, there's a lot of stuff that I didn't maybe know I could have did better. But at the end of the day, I know I love them. And I like you just said the key word, bro.
And here's a good piece. If you can't handle your child, get your child involved with some program. Let him feel confidence about what he do in life. Let him get an opportunity to feel great, or I'm good at something. I said, but you got to get them out here. Don't let them kids just run amok and tear this shit up out here and get hurt. And you can get them involved with some program. You're right. We need more community centers so they can get involved. We can do so much different things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, I got emotional a little bit because I'm seeing a lot of these kids getting killed. The 4-year-old kid got killed. It's just so damn sad, man.
It is.
And I'm hoping that one day the damn president realize and the governors realize, man, they outlaw these damn guns, man. We got to do something with these guns, man.
Well, so that you just brought up another good point. Then and I had this conversation earlier today. I don't know if it's outlaw guns. I mean, but criminals don't pay attention to the law anyway. Because you can outlaw guns all you want to. Criminals don't care about your outlawing anything. Criminals are going to go get the guns. I think. So if you outlaw guns, if you outlaw guns, what's that's going to really do? That's going to do is stop a person like me to be able to have a gun that abides by the law.
That goes back to what we talked about, saving everybody and doing something and continually doing it. Now, if we stop the guns, you have a 3-year. You get caught with a gun, that first time you got 3 years. So that first time he catch that gun, he got 3 years. Majority of the defenders, the guys who have these guns, man, they get caught 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, they do, bro.
They shut that shit down first time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Shut it down. It's in New York. New York, you get caught with a gun, you going to jail for 3 years.
Yeah.
What's wrong with starting somewhere?
Yeah.
And if we can save 100 lives, we did our job.
Yeah.
That 4-year-old baby might be still living.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. My point is, doing nothing ain't gonna help us. We got to do something.
Mm-hmm.
Government, president, figure out a way to get this money to these people, man, where we can try to mentor our kids.
Yeah. That's the key part right there. And not make it so hard for people to be able to get the funding that they need to go ahead and, because that's usually what the lack is. It's the funding.
Yeah.
You got to have the funding to go ahead and be able to build a resource, for the children. Yeah. If you ain't got the funding, and it's like, the people are getting funded that don't even really, man, I ain't gonna go there.
And it's true, but I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
I agree. My point is, continue trying.
Yeah.
If you have kids that you love, no matter what, it's your child or somebody else's child, if you love helping kids, get involved, figure out a way, a game plan, and save these goddamn kids. We have to save them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The world is messed up, bro.
It is, man. It is. But you know what? You doing at the end of the day, Reg, you doing your part. You're doing a heck of a huge part. I mean, bro, the legacy that I'm gonna just tip my hat to you. If I had a cut, I'll take my hat off and tip it to you, bro. But I mean, quite honestly though, Reg, you have impacted so many lives. You can't even count the number of the amount. And that's the blessing part of what you got going on, and your whole team and the people you surround yourself with. I mean, you've been able to touch so many lives. You don't even know how many you have touched at this point.
I know,
that's the great.
And I appreciate that.
And I know
bro.
you don't do it for somebody patting you on your back or applauding you, but that's a testament. That's a life testament right there.
Yeah.
It ain't all about you or trying to, yeah. It's big.
I just want to keep blessing somebody. We keep teaching these kids. My job is to attempt to save every one of them, period.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's my job. And that's everybody's job in the world should be the same thing. I'm attempting to save every one of them, give them every opportunity. We can't kick them out the program the first day, the second day. They get too crazy, you got to kick them out the program. But we got to attempt to save them all.
Mm-hmm.
If we reach 40 to 50 a year, you're doing a good job, man.
Well,
My job,
I know you do.
I ain't gonna look. Hey, my job was always talking about, hey, I'm gonna put everybody in school. Everybody can go to school no matter what. Black, white, no matter if you're going to school. So what I'm doing now is educating my African American kids to go to Ivy League. Get that free education. Get that education. Learn more about it. It just ain't other schools. It's just not Northwood and Saginaw. It's other schools. We got to educate our kids about this and our families.
Yeah. But what I like about your program, like I say, man, it's just it's allowing, them to see a whole different aspect of the world.
Absolutely.
They're able to travel a little bit. They're able to just they meeting other kids that may not be like them, coming from different backgrounds. It's just a smorgasbord. And when you go to these camps that Rising Stars have, I mean, you see kids of all ethnics. You see them all. And they get along, or they be learning together, and they go in places together. Like, so Reg's program is really like making a big, huge impact. And when look, bro, I don't know nobody. Look, I've been around nonprofits and doing all this stuff, but I haven't seen anybody impact the number, like the sheer massive number that you do at once. That's a lot. I'm talking about at one of Reggie's camps, you can have several hundred kids at once, and they all listening to him. I'm not Pat trying to make you embarrass you, but they all listening to him. If you bring them all in and you say how the day is going to go, X, Y, and Z, they all know who Coach Wins is. They all know who he is, and they there for all one purpose. And that's hard to get several hundred kids at once, anywhere. You know what I mean? So it's like they be in there, man, and like that's why I'm saying it is so hard to do what you're doing, and for God to bless you with the vehicle of football. To be able to impact these, people's lives, kids' lives that you don't even know. Like, it's something that you said to people. It's something that you said to a kid that you ain't even really probably noticed that stuck with him and helped him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're just going to keep doing God's work. I do it because I love it.
Right.
I tell you, people out there, if you working and you don't love your job, find something you love, because it's a whole lot easier, man, to eat and pay your bills when you love something. Maybe I'm telling you.
Hey, this is your assignment.
You love it, man.
This is your
assignment, man. This is my calling.
Yep.
And then I call every day. I'm calling my to save souls, man. And a lot of times, man, and just kind of speak on it. A lot of times I do stuff, man, because I see my son.
Yeah.
And everybody else. I see how he grinded and fought to get to where he was. His life was shortened. His life was taken.
Right. But
I want him, that's my motivation. That's my motivation. Hey, listen to me. I'm gonna get out this phone.
Yeah.
Hey, listen. When God called me, I want to have my funeral at Ford Field and shut that dog Ford Field down. I want everybody there.
Yeah. We ain't looking for the day, but I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna be.
I ain't looking for the day neither, but I'm just,
but I know what you mean. Yeah.
What I'm saying is, I'm not at that point now. I'm not doing enough work, man. So I got some work to do. I'm building a program more and deeper, and getting into education, and I got all the tutoring programs that possibly I can get. So I'm trying to save and put kids in more kids in school every year. Average probably about 200 kids a year. And we're going to make it at 500 a year. So we got to have a village to raise that. So I appreciate you, nephew, man. And I just had to call him, and I was sitting in the hot tub and said, I got to call my nephew. I like this conversation.
Well, hey, I know we're going to get together real soon. But thanks, man. I love you, bro. And I'll be talking to you in a minute.
Love you too, brother. I appreciate you.
All right.
All right. Bye.
All right, you guys. That was Reggie Wins. That was coming from Pontiac, Michigan himself. Give a big shout out to Reg Wins. Let's go ahead and give him the hand clap. But you know what? I want to give a shout out to Reg because he said a couple things that really made a lot of sense and brought me, and he fished the line and brought me back a little bit, because you can get a little frustrated. But it is about, if you can just catch one or two. And even if it's your own kids, your assignment doesn't have to be as an individual to save the whole world. a lot of times people be feeling like, well, I don't have a great impact or outreach, and I can't impact a lot of people, maybe like Reggie wins or like this group or like that group, and but don't worry about what Reggie can do or what this group can do. What you can do is, if you have kids, nephews, is be a good nieces, little cousins, is be a good example to them. That can be you don't have to save the whole neighborhood. You don't have to save the whole city. But if you can be a good example, a positive person in the life of the children around you, you're doing enough. You're doing good enough. And show those, especially if you have your own children, be that positive and that loving force in their life. Because a lot of times when we forget how it was when we were children sometimes, but when you don't get the attention that you need, or you don't have what you feel like you need at home, financially or whatever, that's when you go do a lot of things. So if you can, just try to do your best by your children with what you have. Let them know that you love them, and don't worry about the whole community. Worry about your community, your four walls first, and take care of what's in front of you. And that's what I've done. That's what I've tried to do. My calling is not as huge. Well, I ain't gonna say I can't put a scale on it, but the sheer number of kids that I may affect might not be as much as Reggie's. And sometimes people measure themselves by other people. Well, I'm not doing. No, if you have children, you have young people around you, the few or two that might be around you, make sure that you're being what you need to be around them, so they have some type of positive force. Show them what you need or what you know, and help them become. You don't have to have, so you can play your part. And a lot of times, it's just a lot of times, a lot of the children, a lot of the kids, or whoever be out there, they don't have nobody around them. Nobody around them that care. So when you feel like you ain't got nobody to care, what the kids say, you crash out. You get crazy. You do what you got to do. And there was opportunities when I was growing up. I grew up at the same spot that the young man just got shot at the other day. Pretty much, that was like I told you, that was the majority of my stable years, was growing up right there in that neighborhood. Right there where that kid got shot is where I used to ride my bike, and I used to sit. I used to go to the store when I was young and give me a pop and some chips. And I used to sit there for hours on that corner, right where that kid got shot yesterday. And what's crazy about it is I was presented with the same opportunities to sell drugs, do a lot of different things, but I just didn't do it. When I look at it and say, did I have a lot of money, and should I, in my mind, should I have wanted to do it? Because I knew friends that was doing it, selling drugs and X, Y, and Z. They did whatever they did for whatever reason they had to do it or wanted to do it. It's just that, not saying that I didn't think about it, but kind of like what I said earlier, the only reason that I didn't do it is because I know I had 3 or 4 whippings waiting for me. Before I even got to my pops, I had 3 or 4 whoopings waiting on me. And not only just whoopings, knowing that I was going to disappoint some people that love me. So a lot of times kids just don't got nobody they feel like they're going to disappoint. Nobody to look up to, so they do whatever. So it's unfortunate, y'all. Very unfortunate. There's no clear-cut one answer, but I think Reggie confirmed one thing to me. Like he said, one of his biggest obstacles is the parents, and I think that's what it comes down to, y'all. You have children, Just try to be in their life as much as you possibly can. You're gonna, and even to parents that disagree with what their kids and they, whatever the case may be there. Be there. Like today is my son's birthday. He's 23 years old today. That you're right, Gita. That's all it come down to. My son, he turned 23 today. Sante, my oldest, turned 23. And I looked at him today and I was like, dog, what was I doing at 23? You know what I was doing at 23? Basically, I was getting ready to make him when I was 23. You know what I'm saying? And I was just looking at, where I was, where he's at, the type of guy he is, the type of guy I was, what type of father or what type of man have I been around him. And I can look at my son, I can look at him and say, you know what? He's level-headed, he's dependable, and I know he got that from me. He's very level-headed, he's dependable. You tell him to do something, you can trust him. But it wasn't just me that helped my son. It was people like Reggie Wins, because that's Uncle Reggie for him. And I'm pretty sure if something was to happen to me or whatever the case may be, or whatever, some things confronted my son, that he know that he would have to answer. And he's not even in the football program, and he's 23 and he's out of high school and all this and that. But he know that he probably most likely gonna have to answer the Reg about some stuff if he do some stupid stuff. So it's accountability, knowing like, you know what? If I mess up, if I do this to disgrace X, Y, and Z, I got to not only answer to my pops, I might have to answer to Uncle Reggie too, or Uncle Derek, or I'm going to have to talk to somebody outside of my, it's going to be some form of, accountability somewhere, or TT Jeter, or TT so-and-so, TT, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to have to, and a lot of times when younger folks don't have nobody to hold themselves accountable to, that's a dangerous thing too, because they can just really be off the rails. And that's why I say I think I avoided a lot of trouble, because I had like 3 or 4 people that I really had to be held accountable to, accountability. And so I do applaud organizations, especially around the city of Pontiac, that I know of, that are doing the work. And I really are trying, and they are helping a lot of kids. They out there. They out there. And it's not easy work, because when you do work with kids, you're not only taking on that kid into your program. What up though, Trav? You're not only just taking that kid into your program, whatever program it is that you have, you're adopting a family. Quite honestly, you're adopting a family. I've seen it. Like, kids be having hard times with places to stay and this and X, Y, and Z. And that organization on the strength, you know what I'm saying? On the strength of will help the family out, of the kid. So, so you got to have the village. You got to have the village. But more importantly than the village, what's the head of a village? Okay, what inside of a village, what do you have? What makes up the village? I'm just thinking of words here. What makes up the village? What makes up a village? I'm gonna Google something. What makes up a village? Because I hear that a lot. The village. What makes up a village? A village is a small human settlement larger than, small town, and characterized by close-knit community and rural setting. typically churches, marketplaces, so different sets. So the nucleus. A nucleus represents a village, is a part of the village. So I guess that's what I say, the nucleus. The nucleus of the village for each individual, or the village, quote unquote, that we were talking about, the nucleus got to be the family. The nucleus has to be the family, or the parents, the parents of those households. And I don't know, y'all, but I just wanted to come on tonight and just I guess shed or talk a little bit. I ain't gonna say shed light to it. We all know what the problem is, but I did just want to come on and talk tonight about some things. What did you say, Miss Renee? Ms. Lastera Renee. But why I family? Go ahead and clarify that. People make up the village. Of course, people make up the village. Ms. Renee, clarify that. Yeah, people make up the village. You're right, Trav. Yep. But within that village, there's hierarchies, you know what I mean? It's a nucleus, it's whatever. Yeah, I'm not quite getting or understanding you, Renee. But overall, like I say, man, I guess overall, if you got children, be there for them. That's just what it come down to. Do your part. Small, great. Small, big, great. There's no little parts and big parts. They're all intertwined. Like I'm doing my part for the village by raising my kids and being in their life, and especially just all overall. I'm making sure by me doing my part, they getting the respect and discipline, or got that from me, that they know better, that it's not okay to go knock you over the head and take what you got. They know better to run up in somebody's home and get themselves shot up. They know better not to be a terror, by me doing my part, my two boys, the community don't have to worry about those two boys going to, you know what I'm saying, rob you. You know what I mean? And that's what we got to, just make it plain and simple. We got to train our boys up not to be, you know what I mean, those type of people that do those types of things. And if we're in their life, most likely they won't be. Not saying nobody won't fall through the cracks. I've seen it, you know what I mean? I seen it. Something got me. But man, something just, I don't know what is a bee up in this motherfucker. But at the end of the day, man, we just got to do, everything starts at home, like what you just said, Trev. So with that being said, you guys, I got an early morning tomorrow morning. I want y'all to go ahead and tune in to Regina, the Queen of Car Loans. She's going to be at the pod at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. She's going to be talking about credit and cars and I believe new first-time home buyers and things like that, of that sort. Something just stung the hell out of me. What that? I don't know what that was. But we're going to be at the pod live on all platforms, Facebook, Instagram, two Facebook pages, two of her Facebook pages, Queen of Car Loans. Dang, dog. So I don't know what the hell do I got, a crack in the window or what? Something came in. The hell? I had to put some Mercuric on. But on TikTok and Instagram, the Queen of Car Loans, Regina Woodard. and she's a Pontiac native, and she does some work with the kids. She works as a sales lady, far as a car sales lady, but she's very good at that, and she does help in her way with doing some things for children in the community. Like I say, we all do our part, big or small, as long as you do your part. With that being said, y'all, keep God first, family second, and you third. I will be back probably Friday night. Thursday is going to be music in the parks from the Pontiac Arts Commission and coincided. Damn, what the hell stung me, man? With the city. Dog. What the hell? Music in the Parks by the city of Pontiac and the Pontiac Arts Commission, Robin C. put together. It's going to be at Rotary Park at 7 o'clock. Come on out at 7 o'clock Thursday. It will be live stream. I will be the live streamer for the city of Pontiac. But come on out, have a good time, enjoy yourself. A lot of people come out and just have a real good time. Hopefully, if we can hold the rain off and things like that. And then be staying tuned because we got Reginald Wins coming back to the pod. He's going to be doing the Rising Stars podcast and recruiting. He's had Devin Funches on. He's then had some NFL stars, community leaders. He got some more coming, you know what I mean? So I know things going to be coming real soon. He's going to be coming back to the pod. With that being said, you guys have a great night. Well rest. Much love. And I will be getting with y'all in a day or two. Peace.
Goose.